Cultural traditions, patterns, and context. Historical traditions and culture are seen and viewed as sacred ideologies started by our forefathers or by the ancestors of any particular context a human element belongs to. But the idea of traditions is the study of patterns, sacred, abstract, and psychological practices that have withstood and transcended through time. These patterns existing within a context become legend, and the idea of keeping these traditions ongoing over time fuels human elements with purpose. For it is the traditions, culture, and patterns of a context which make human elements within the boundaries of its context feel alive and important. The use of certain patterns, also known as cultural traditions, is sometimes for worship and other times from personal, historical interpretation of an older ancestral human element from their context who may have forged a greatness while performing an act of value to and for the history of that context. A pattern, which would be regarded as sacred and legendary through the ages. However, as time suggests, cultural traditions are simply patterns which, like all things, change, progress, develop in a constant manner. The reason being is that contexts, patterns, information, perspectives are all controlled and changed by one thing: elements. The change in the entire SEPI theoretical breakdown starts with elements. In this case, human elements. Elements create the domino effect of change in context. The constant change in context affects elements and the back and forth swapping of change and perspective. Information and patterns is and has always been constant since the beginning of time. Patterns are affected and changed by human elements daily. Traditions, cultural patterns, and rituals are birthed or changed every day. This is why the study of man, a human element, will be a constant topic of changing study, unless or until all men are subjected to one stream of information. And at the rate of digital sharing and technology supporting the information age, this will never happen. Patterns will continue to thrive and shape human beings sociologically and psychologically, but great men will forge new ideas and new rituals, new patterns that humans of the future will make legend and transform into a culture of recognized patterns and practices. Culture in itself is patterns, recognized patterns that became legend over time by human elements living within a context.